Hello and welcome to GBR. Fun today racing the guys from the MRC in the GTTCC Season 20. This is the Elite Division, Round 5, Race 1. As you can see, we are at St Croix for the first half an hour race of this evening. And after 15 minutes of qualifying, Phil put it on pole in the Lamborghini. In second place we have JRC making his return after a couple of weeks away in the Citroen. In third we have Midnight in the Nissan Silvia. In fourth place we have Judge in the Renault. In fifth place we have Bazza in the Citroen. In sixth we have Muffin Man in another Citroen. In seventh place we have Mark or Mutt in the Lambo. In eighth place we have Infinity James making I think he even raced round one, had wheel issues and now he's back. Starting in eighth place in the Honda NSX. In ninth place we have Brucey in the McLaren, and in 10th we have Golden Brownie in the Porsche. And that is your drivers for this race. So let's go to the front and get these guys underway. As you can see, top right track map, it's very long. I think it's about 3 minutes 20 per lap, so you'll see how many laps we get in for this race. 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. Everyone seems to get a decent start there. Now they're all going to be fanning out as they come up to the first corner. Midnight's going up the inside of Phil. 4 wide there for a second. Phil's already dropped down to 4th place, but JRC taking the whole shot through the first corner, and everyone is following suit. No real incidents, it looks like. No, everyone's got through nicely through turn 1 up towards turn 3. Now they go. JRC still leading the pack just ahead of Midnight up the inside of Phil now. Should be able to keep ahead of him through turn 4. Judge looking for a way past as well to follow Midnight through. I think Phil's going to have that covered off as they come up to this double right-hander. JRC there just pulling away a little bit from Midnight, but everyone else still line astern as they're coming through this twisty section of the track. Down this little straight now in towards a left-hander that then does open up quite nicely now. And Phil's still not been able to get past Midnight. He's just going to sit behind, probably going to use the power of the Lambo to blast past that Nissan as they just come round this right-hander onto the back straight. There you go, JRC's checked out a little bit there, so from Midnight. And that's Phil, then Judge just right behind. Bazza in 5th place, Muffin Man in 6th, Brucey up to 7th, Golden Brownie up to 8th, Infinity James in 9th place, and Mark in 10th at the moment. Looks like they're all still line astern. Here goes Phil up the inside of Midnight into the chicane. Flip-flop chicane, that's allowed Judge now to get ahead of Midnight as well. A little touch there from Judge. Will that allow Midnight to get up the inside of Judge? It looks like it will as they come round this left-hand corner onto the bridge. There's a bump halfway round it. Absolutely horrible, does unsettle the car. As you can see, a few guys running out wide there, but I don't know who that was with a penalty behind. Let's have a look. It is Bazza. Bazza's got a half-second penalty, so that's going to drop him back a few places when he serves that. They go nearly 4 wide as they're coming off the bridge into the second chicane on the track. That's allowed. How's that Muffin Man? He's absolutely thrown through and got up to 3rd place, and Judge has dropped down to 7th. And so Muffin Man having a late charge at the end of lap 1 to push his way through into 3rd place, but the top 2, Phil and JRC, are just pulling away with everyone fighting behind. See where Bazza ends up now after 7 this little half-second penalty. He's dropped down from 5th to 7th. He's got Brucey and James coming up the inside of him. Brucey will probably just ease off a little bit to let his teammate get him back in front of him. Judge has had an awful drive out of the last corner. He's been overtaken by 3 or 4 guys now. As Judge, so Judge now into 10th place. Not too good for Judge at the end of lap 1. But JRC leads the way as we head now on to lap 2. Feel fairly close behind him. These two have just pulled away from Muffin Man and the rest of the field, who are all still nice and tightly bunched as they go through this kind of double left now. Midnight in 4th, Golden Brownie up to 5th place now, so getting some good places up is Golden Brownie. James there in 6th place, so a good race return for James, up about 2 or 3 spaces from the start. Bazza has dropped down a couple places, but playing the long run, just going to sit in the slipstream of the guys in front and just probably pick them off one by one as they go. And Brucey there, I think he's up 1 space as well. It's the Judge that's been the one that's dropped out or lost out on all of this at the moment. See if the Renault has the power to try and get past the Lambo and McLaren in front. Brucey's going out wide as they go around this double right onto the back straight. We'll jump up front because there has been a change for the lead. I'm not sure how that's happened. Let's have a look. JRC here, just not long after I was last with him. He's run it a little bit too hot into the Armco barrier, and that's allowed Phil, who picked up a 1-second penalty by going out wide, but has got into 1st place. So we'll see when Phil takes that penalty if he can stay in 1st, but it's allowed Muffin Man now to close up to the back end of JRC as they all come down the back straight. James pulling out from the slipstream of Bazza, but thinking better of it, trying to get probably a better run through and up towards the hairpin. There you go. Will James go for a move up the inside? No, he won't. He will just stick in right under that Citroen's wing. And now they come round onto the left-hander before the bridge with this horrible bump. You can see it just there, just unsettles the car just as you want to get the power on it. Looked like it affected Golden Brownie there. He's slow coming onto the bridge. Hasn't got any damage luckily, but definitely has slowed him down as they now come across the bridge for the 2nd time. But Phil, he's now going to be serving that 1-second penalty in about 20 seconds time. Also see if that will drop him back into the clutches of JRC. Or will JRC try and make the move as it comes down towards the last corner, but Muffin Man has got Midnight all over his rear end as they're coming into the penultimate corner now. So we'll see if Phil drops into the clutches of JRC. He's now served his penalty. Here he comes as they're coming down. Phil's just been able to pull enough of a lead over the rest of that lap to stay in 1st place. Looks like Midnight got it a little bit wrong there, coming on to the start-finish straight. Same as like Bazza did as well, as he was ahead of James coming onto there. Got Golden's down to 7th place. Judge has got Brucey all over his rear end as they're going around the 1st corner. I don't know if Brucey's going to try and make a move. If he goes up the inside here, it's going to be on the outside for turn 3. Will he make it stick between these two. Looks like Brucey's just going to get it done, but then it's another left-hander, so Judge is still there on the inside, but Judge lets off and lets Brucey take that position. Golden Brownies with a 1 second penalty there. I'm just going through to see if there's any action coming up. That looks like between Phil, JRC, Muffin Man and Midnight are now all back together. So they did all check out, but the old penalties will hamper you. And it's just a long track as well, so you can just have that one penalty you do get, you have to wait for a long time before you serve it. Just don't want to accumulate more than just the one, otherwise you will be losing positions for sure when you come around to serve it on that little straight before the last corner. JRC there is nicely tucked behind Phil. See if the Citroen has the speed down the back straight. Phil's going very defensive, going out very wide. Going left down the straight, which is a longer route down there. He will now pull to the right hand side as they come up to the flip-flop chicane. JRC just didn't have enough of a straight to make the move on Filthy, so we'll stick behind. Muffin Man just dropped off from the back of JRC, only a little bit, a couple of attempts. James there in 5th, Bazza in 6th place now, Mark in 7th, just got past Golden Brownie. He has got that 1 second penalty. Golden Brownie's had a poor exit coming out of there as well. Brucey's going to slip past into the 90-degree left onto the bridge. You just don't want to get it too wide because you will end up hitting the arm coat as you come on, and it will affect your speed down the straight up towards the bridge chicane. We go as Brucey got nice and tight on the right hand side there. Open up the left as much as you can, but Judge has been able to get past Golden Brownie as well. Brucey's picked up a half second penalty. Will he be serving it this lap, or will it be the next time round he serves it? Looks like it's going to be the next time round, is it? Nope, it has come up saying he will slow down. So that will be Judge up to 8th place, I think, when Brucey serves it. Go back to the front. Ooh, spaced out about 3/4 of a second. Oh, JRC getting it all sorts of wrong as he comes out of the last corner. That's allowed Muffin Man to sweep on past and move his way up to 2nd place. So that's going to allow Phil just that extra bit of breathing room now in 1st place as they come to start lap 4. So already over 10 minutes into the race already. So it is a very long track. We'll probably get to about lap 9 or so, 8 or 9 depending on the pace of these guys. So the top 4 have got a bit of a gap now to James in 5th place, but James has got no one to fight with, so he can just put his head down and see if he can catch up to the back of Midnight in that Sylvia. Mark there in 6th place. Where's Bazza gone? Bazza's dropped all the way to the back at the moment. Not too sure why. Lap time was a couple of seconds slower than Golden Brownie in front of him, so might have had an issue but near the end of the lap. 3. So let's see if Bazza can catch up to the back of Golden Brownie and Brucey now. Judge has been able to just check out a little bit from Brucey and Golden Brownie now. So it is all starting to open up a little bit. Golden Brownie's gone for a move up the inside of Brucey and up to 8th place as they come around that long lefter just for this back straight, but I'm sure that Macca will have the speed just to power on past the Porsche. As we go down this back straight, Golden Brownie staying to the left hand side, making Brucey try and go round the in, technically be on the outside. As we come up to the flip-flop chicane, Brucey's not gone for it, he's stuck behind as they come through. Brucey's got a better drive as they go through, and he's moved up to the inside of Golden Brownie into the hairpin. There you go. So Brucey back up to 8th place, so only lost it for about 30 seconds. And see if they two can stick behind each other and try and work their way back up to the rear end of that Renault, just in front of them. Only about half a second or so, maybe a little bit more, maybe say a second between them. Mark there all a little bit on his own in 6th place, same as James there in 5th. The fight looks like it is for 2nd place. Phil's just been able to keep out of trouble and pull away from the guys behind who have all had either penalties or fighting or made little mistakes here and there. Both go very deep and through that left hand that the Muffin Man and JRC. It might be a Citroen thing of struggling to get it slowed down. That's a big old car as they come round the last corner, and we're nearly halfway through the race now. The Phil in 1st place, Muffin Man in 2nd, JRC in 3rd, Midnight in 4th place. That's your top 4. James not too far behind. What was his lap time? He lost a 10th that lap round to Midnight, but yeah, didn't really lose much to the other two in front. So James has got the same pace as them guys. Just needs to hope they start fighting so he can catch up a little bit more to the rear end of them. Mark there, what did he do? 21.1, so he was about 8 tenths slower that lap round. Judge slower still. Bazza, oh, he's moved his way up to 8th place now as Bazza, so we've been able to dispatch of Golden Brownie and Brucey since the last time I was with these two, or three, as they came across the bridge. So soon taken Bazza half a lap or so, and he's got 2 places now. So now he's going to be looking at the rear end of that Renault, Judge, and see if he can catch up. So what was his lap time? A 3:21. Judge's was a 3:22. So yeah, Bazza's got some speed in that Citroen, and he's gone blue for the 2nd sector. So Bazza is on a start of another decent lap here. It looks like he's going to be trying to bring Brucey and Golden Brownie with him. They're just sticking behind him, not going to fight. And see if they can try and make up some positions with Bazza doing some decent sector times there. It looks like Brucey ran a little bit wide and just dropped off out of that slipstream. Brucey getting it all sorts of sideways as they come onto the back straight, which isn't going to help the speed down the back straight. But as we move to the front fielder, he's got about 4-second lead. Oh, we've had a big old change at the front here. JRC's now into 2nd, Midnight 3rd. Muffin Man's dropped down to 4th place from 2nd, and James has now joined into the gaggle. And he's made it a 4-way fight for 2nd now, so that's all Phil needs to see in the mirrors. There's more guys joining the fight, means he's going to be able to just pull away even more. He's not going to get compromised at all, is Phil. JRC heading the pack now as they come across the bridge. Muffin Man looking up the inside of Midnight as they're coming down. Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? Looks like it's going to be Muffin Man, just going to slip it inside Midnight as they go through the bridge chicane. And James there just going to sit behind and just wait for the action to come to him. Doesn't want to get involved in it too much, seeing that these two will just have their eyes on the mirrors, and Midnight just be looking at that rear end of the Citroen and trying to think of how to get past as they come down this little hilly section towards the last corner. But they will come round, as I say now, we're over halfway of the race. So JRC has just been able to put a little bit of a gap between him and Muffin Man. Someone's smashing into the wall. That looked like it was Mark in 6th place. We'll just jump back because it seems like Bazza has caught up to the rear end of Judge, and Bazza's just been able to drop Golden Brownie and Brucey. They're just, obviously the cars aren't too suited clearly for this track, but Bazza makes a nice little move up the inside there of Judge, just using a slipstream, and getting on the inside. Judge is probably just thinking, well, clearly quicker than me, 1:21.9 to Bazza's 3:19.2. So what's that? 2.5 seconds quicker that lap round. So if Judge can stay on the back end of Bazza will be able to try and catch up to the rear end of Mark fairly quickly. Because even Mark done a 21 dead, so Bazza was still 1.8 seconds quicker that lap than Mark, just up ahead of him. So yeah, maybe near the end of the race, Bazza will be able to catch up to Mark and have a little fight with him. And if he can bring Judge with him and make it another nice little freeway fight for 6th place. Jump up forward. JRC's been able to put away a little bit there from Muffin Man, and looks like Midnight's been having his mirrors full of that NSX behind him. Let's see if James can make a move as they come down towards the flip-flop chicane for what, the 6th time of asking. Just not enough, I think, with the Nissan being in the slip of that Citroen ahead. James is right up behind now. Don't miss your braking point and punt the guy off, which James just gets it nicely stopped behind Midnight there in 4th place. Phil is setting decent lap times. Let's see, how far is he ahead? About 4 seconds now to the good is Phil over JRC. JRC's had obviously that one little issue, and that's it. He's just dropped back from Phil, and then had to fight his way back past a couple of guys to get back into 2nd place. Muffin Man, clearly he's really good on the first part of the track, is Muffin Man, but the second part of the track obviously just a little bit slower and allows Midnight to catch up to him, because that gap was definitely a lot bigger than that at the beginning of the lap. Now we come down through the last corner with just 10 minutes to go. Muffin Man will hold on ahead of Midnight now, as they start lap 6. James just behind Mark there, a little bit on his own. Let's see what lap time Mark does. A 3:20.6, and Bazza does a 3:20.1, so half a second caught again by Bazza that lap round. And he's been able to just drop Judge a little bit. What is that? 1.4 seconds that lap that Bazza's been able to pull over Judge. Brucey's come into the pit. I remember from the night racing that he said that just getting frustrated with the car, not the right setup, so decided to park it rather than ruin someone else's race. So that's left Golden Brownie there in 9th place, kind of all by himself, getting it all nice and tail happy through the exit of turn 3 up to the front. Yeah, Phil's still about 4 seconds or so ahead of JRC there, who has pulled out a nice little gap over. Midnight has got past Muffin Man now into 3rd place. So will Midnight be able to keep ahead of him of all that Citroen, be able to just drive straight past him down this back straight, which isn't too far away now, just this long right hander. Just a little lift off throttle, maybe a little dab of the brakes if needed, and then just flat out for a good 15-20 seconds down this back straight. And there you go, JRC sticking in the middle of the road there, trying to not give any slipstream to Midnight behind. James has pulled out the side of Muffin Man. Muffin Man must have had a bad drive as they come through that right hander, but that James up to 4th place now. So as I said, playing the long game is James, just sitting there behind and just letting it all come to him, and being able to defend from Muffin Man through the hairpin. It's allowed Midnight just to open up a little bit of a gap with them two fighting. But with James being in the slipstream of Midnight and Midnight not having anything behind, it's going to allow them to catch up. It looks like Muffin Man's going back up the inside of James into the bridge chicane, and he gets the job done through the middle part there. So that's Muffin Man back up to 4th place, but now he's lost about half a second or so to Midnight, just with the position changes they've had on this lap. So they've got to have a really good couple sectors now to try and bring that gap back down to 3rd place. With all this fighting, JRC's just been able to pull away from these guys, and Phil there he's only once dipped into the 3-minute 20s. The rest of the laps has been 3-minute 19s. This one beat a 3:19 as well, be a 3:18. So yep, definitely setting some decent lap times, just a little bit quicker than JRC. Midnight now back up the inside of Muffin Man as they come into turn 1. Well, Muffin Man try the old switcheroo. Looks like Midnight just parks it on the exits, and Muffin couldn't get the drive. It's allowed James just to drive around the outside now of Muffin Man as they come through turn 2, up towards turn 3 now. This left-hander, James being on the inside, Midnight getting it all tail happy, getting it on the grass. These three all fighting over the same bit of track. James has wiggled his way up to 3rd place. They're going 3 wide now as they come round that little left kink in towards this double right, but Muffin Man's been able to make 2 passes there up to 3rd place, past James and Midnight. So a change of order now for these 3 of Muffin Man, James, and then at Midnight, and it's going to allow, with this fighting, Mark there, you can just see lurking in the background to close up to the back end of these guys. Bazza, what was his lap time that time around? 1/10 quicker than Mark. Judge has been able to step the game up, and he caught Bazza a little bit on that lap as well. So Judge is making the car work. Might be a little bit late on now into the race. Golden Brownie just trailing around in at 9th place. And Brucey still sat in the pits. There we go where the action is, because Phil being Phil, he's out in the front, leading by a country mile, with no action to watch. And same with JRC, he's trying to catch up to the back end of Phil, but Phil's just got the pace around this track for sure. You've got James and Midnight going side by side into the hairpin. Whoa, James just cuts off Midnight's nose on the exit there as they come up towards the left onto the bridge. Through that horrible little kink in the road, or dip in the road I should say, but Midnight's been able to get a better drive and get past James as they come over the bridge into the chicane. So Midnight back up to 4th place now, and now his eyes are going to be firmly fixed on Muffin Man ahead. See if he can get past. Looks like we're going to have one more lap going by the timing, and I don't think Phil's going to get another one. I think it's just going to run over a bit too much for Phil to get another lap. But Midnight still looking at the rear end of Muffin Man. He's got 1 lap to do it. See if he can get that move into 3rd place, or will James try and hold him up and get 3rd himself, or will Muffin Man just pull away? We have 1 lap to find out. Bazza's not been able to catch up. What was that? 19.7 and 19.2. He's caught half a second that lap. Judge's done a 20.0. So judges, I think, now just dropped out of the slip of Bazza. Golden Brownie there. Fastest lap of a 22.6. Just struggled on this track, but Midnight's dropped back behind James now. So James has made the move past and got himself up the 4th. So this fighting's going to allow Muffin Man just to put away a 10th here or there, which is what we all want to see, especially on this lap, the last lap of the race. Phil and JRC still well out ahead. JRC is going through this left-hander, and these guys are just coming up to it. So he's pulled out about 7 or so seconds to the good. Since he got back past him, I think it was about lap 5 or so. Lap 4 or 5, when after JRC had that little moment out of the last corner. But James has definitely put the hammer down, and he's catching up to the rear end of that Citroen. Now, will the pace of that Honda really be unleashed and try and make the move on Muffin Man as they come down the back straight now for the 9th and final time? Tyre wear's not looking too good for either of these two. Very even. Mark's done incredibly well saving his tyres, but James couldn't make the move as they come down through the flip-flop chicane up towards the hairpin now. James is going to go and hang it round the outside. Will he make that work? I think it just tightens up too much to try and carry the extra speed around the hairpin, but James is looking up the inside. I think he's more defending from Midnight now behind, as he just went out wide on that hairpin. It's allowed Midnight to close that gap, but now we've got Mark joining the battle in 6th place now. Any little mistake and he'll be there to take that place from any of these guys, but Muffin Man still leading the way out of these 4 now as they come through the bridge chicane and look around this long sweeping 180 degree right hander. Kind of has it's the really late apex on this one, but James there just defending off Midnight. Don't think he's going to try and make a move on Muffin Man ahead. He's too far behind unless he gets an absolute cracking drive out of this penultimate corner. But we will jump to the front as Phil will come across the line to finish in 1st place. JRC with a fastest lap he's just done on lap 8 as well, so he'll get the extra point for that one. We'll finish in 2nd. Muffin Man will hold on to 3rd place with this incredible fight between him. James in 4th, Midnight in 5th, Mark just comes up to finish in 6th behind. Bazza will be in 7th. Judge happy with an 8th place, but it seems by the 360 spin, and Golden Brownie will come across to finish in 9th place, and Brucey, who sat in the pits due to setup issues, will finish in 10th. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've liked it, hit that like. If you've enjoyed the content, hit that like button. Maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.